ESSA school-level expenditure reporting. What does it mean? In 2020, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction is moving forward with a new federal financial reporting requirement for Wisconsin public schools. This video, the last of 3, will discuss the meaning of this requirement and how to talk about the data. To review, in the first part we covered the new financial reporting requirement in ESSA, the Every Student Succeeds Act, where local districts and independent charter schools report per pupil cost to DPI, which we provide to the public. Then, in the second part, we went through the numbers themselves. Each school's per pupil amount is a combination of spending at that school and support across the district or LEA, funded with state and local or federal dollars. Now comes the hard part. What do we do with this information? The idea of using data to illustrate what's going on in a school is not new. We have had school-level achievement data, test results, graduation rates, and the like for a long time. In Wisconsin, we have school and district report cards, which are the most visible and public way to evaluate and summarize the data, but these are far from the only tools educators and decision makers have. What's new with ESSA is adding a financial dimension, spending, to the school-level data we already have and already use. Researchers with the Edunomics Lab at Georgetown University have spent many years surveying and interviewing superintendents, principals, and other school leaders about school finance. One thing they found in those discussions is that, in general, school leaders do not have a good sense of the true financial resources that are going to specific schools. Why might this be the case? An important reason is that school district budgets usually aren't built from the school up. Decisions on how many teachers and support staff to hire are often based on school enrollments, while pay and benefit decisions are district-wide. Curriculum and technology budgets are commonly split by level, elementary, middle, or high school. Maintenance and transportation tend to be separate budget discussions. Federal grants are focused on programs and requirements. We can think of ESSA per pupil spending reporting as a new federal requirement, but we can also consider it an opportunity to bring home all of those separate budget decisions. Students attend schools, not districts or local education agencies, and the impacts of those decisions are felt by students in their schools. Another thing the Edunomics Lab group found in their fieldwork is that school leaders usually do not have a good sense of how the dollars being invested in their schools are maximizing student outcomes. For example, Wisconsin schools have invested many millions of dollars in student technology, from one-to-one devices to career and technical education. How do we know if that money has been spent wisely? Are the enhancements to student technology making our students more ready for college and career? What kinds of technology provide the best bang for the buck? These are not easy questions, but more detailed spending data give us better tools to address them. At this point, we want to make 2 things clear. First, school-level spending data will be used to compare schools. That was an explicit goal, not only of the legislators who added the reporting requirement to ESSA, but also the interest groups and advocates who supported its addition. Second, there is no such thing as a perfect apples-to-apples comparison of one school to another. Costs of living vary between and within states. Demographics vary among communities. Even something like a thermostat can make a big difference in the cost to operate a school. So what is the difference between an imperfect comparison and an invalid one? Consider this fictional example. Here we have 2 Wisconsin high schools, Dairyland High and Whitetail High, along with their per-pupil spending numbers and school report card rating categories, the sort of comparison we might expect in a news article. A person looking at this information might conclude that Whitehall does a better job than Dairyland because they spend less per pupil but get a higher report card rating. What might they be missing? There's a lot going on behind the numbers. A smaller school has fewer students to spread out higher cost programs like career and tech ed, science, or music performance. Location matters. It is harder for a district in northern Wisconsin to recruit and retain staff, particularly in more specialized subject areas. A school that gets money under the federal Title I program is required to spend more. Title I can't be used to replace local dollars. Even the health insurance plan matters. A traditional point-of-service plan puts more costs on the district, while a high-deductible HMO shifts more risk to employees. We could have come up with many more reasons why there might be a difference between these two schools. The point we want to make here is that if this is all someone has to compare, per pupil spending and report card rating, then it's the school leader's job to add the context needed. The point is not to debate what makes a valid or invalid comparison, but rather to discuss what goes into making a comparison useful, if less than perfect. We especially encourage the use of per-pupil spending data to understand the impacts of high-level decisions on student equity. Here is a real-world example from a Wisconsin school district. A group of Black parents believes the district underfunds their children's schools. School-level data can address the factual question, and knowing the answer is a start. But to make the equity connection, we need to move to the next level. How do the data compare to the perception? What is the parents' belief telling us? Let's say the district actually spends more at the schools in question. Is the parents' dissatisfaction really about resources? Or is it about environment, outcomes, or something else? The value of school-level spending data in this example is in how it shifts the discussion from whether a statement is true or false to identifying and problem-solving the reasons behind it. In this video series, we've gone over the new ESSA per-pupil school spending reporting requirement, what it is, where the numbers come from, and how to talk about them. However, it's important not to get lost in the data. Dollars don't educate kids. Dollars pay for the teachers, classrooms, and tools that do the work. Our challenge, and yours, is to figure out how we can use this new tool to help us identify inequities, drive better spending decisions, and promote greater transparency for our state's largest area of public expenditure. If we can do that, the intent behind this piece of the ESSA law will be fulfilled. If you would like to learn more about ESSA school-level expenditure reporting, DPI has more information available on this subject at dpi.wi.gov/sfs/reporting/SLR.